Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
More confirmed cases of coronavirus here in New York City. Hundreds of people have been ordered into quarantine, most of those likely connected to one single patient across the country. Health officials are scrambling to contain multiple outbreaks.
It's here! So you got 1,000 people that are quarantining themselves in New York, probably more by the end of the day. Tomorrow, who knows how many, right? California's declared a state of emergency. I will brave it this weekend because I am going to go see my son. So I'm good with that. I'm going to brave it. I'm going to look right into the teeth of the coronavirus and have a good weekend. Chad, you're not taking this serious. No, I take it serious like I take the flu seriously. Wash my hands, do extra things that you're supposed to do, wipe down some areas. But here's the reality of it. The germs are everywhere. Minus living in a bubble, a la, I don't know, John Travolta from the Bubble Boy movie. Remember that? Minus that, what are you going to do? Except just try to be as extra precautious, stay away from people who may be sick, and that's it. There's not a lot you're going to be able to do. Prepare, that's a good thing to do. Always. By the way, not just in this situation with coronavirus. Can I just tell you, people, not just in this. You should have a week or two worth of stuff that's kind of stocked up, especially if you live in areas where potentially Tennessee, for instance, tornado, could be without water and certain things. Same thing if you're in places like California. My mother, she's raising all my, she got my brothers and sisters. They're my niece and my nephews. My mom's adopted. And she's got about 3 weeks to a month's worth of supplies. Nothing spectacular, but there's enough there. You should be precautious. Why? Well, there's an earthquake. You never know what could happen. And back, if there's an earthquake, there's a chance you lose electricity for a few days and, gas can be cut off because the lines could break and stuff. There's nothing wrong with being prepared. We're overdoing it, though, at times. I feel like we're putting a little bit of hot sauce on this, if you know what I mean. We should understand that there's a risk involved, but there's a risk involved in everything. Drove to work today. I get up extra early, right? I'm not going to lie to you, at least once or twice a week, I see some people, I think to themselves, I think they've been out making merry, and they probably shouldn't be driving. There's risk in so many things. But what's the reality?
The new coronavirus is just that, new. And that's one reason many of us have found ourselves so worried about catching it.
A new risk is always scarier than one we're familiar with because it has elements of the unknown, and not knowing what we need to protect ourselves leaves us feeling a little powerless and out of control. That's why we buy masks and stock up on food. It's something we can do to get control.
Risk expert David Ropick says it's normal to react this way, but we all have a responsibility to communicate with one another rationally, just as much as we have a responsibility to wash our hands frequently.
Yeah. That's it. It's just understanding. It's something new. It's different. That's why they call it novel. Because the coronavirus has been out a long time. But it shows you, though, why they talk about, that thing's gone viral. Yeah, isn't it funny that most people have no idea. What do you call it, viral again? Because it's viral. Things go viral, right? On the interwebs, things go viral. And then we start to make these things happen. We become this self-fulfilling prophecy. We think everything's going to run out. Everything's going to run out. Everything's going to run out. And you look how fast things change on a dime. But it's so funny to watch this. Kara just sent me this. A Lithuanian man was worried about catching the coronavirus. So he locked his wife in a bathroom because he thought she may have it. He took the extra measures after finding out his wife had met a Chinese woman who had traveled to the hard-hit city in Italy. He claimed to have forced her into quarantine. His wife managed to call the cops to ask for help. That's it. Why? It's in our minds. And so we run with it. Just run with it. Here's something else. Do I talk about the fact that there's not one but two?
A very small report coming out of China that identified 2 strains of this coronavirus. It does not mean that there's been any mutation or change. It just means one is circulating more commonly than the other. One appears to be more highly transmissible, but that doesn't mean more severe. And we still don't know really what's circulating here in the U.S.
So what they did in China is they think that there's 2 strains. They call it L and S. One of them was more aggressive, meaning the symptoms hit you much harder. So you were more likely to think you had something and you either self-quarantined yourself or you went and found out you had it and you were able to then combat the system, the virus aggressively. So it spread less frequent because the symptoms were so hard. They said they haven't seen that since late January in China. The other one is the one that spreads faster because people have a mild case of symptoms. And so they're not quite sure what they have. And it kind of ramps itself up. Well, you go about your lives on a day-to-day basis. So you come in more contact with people. That's why it spreads in a much wider range, even though it slowly hits you. But it's just, this is what it is. We're taking it all in. And I just sit back and I'm like, just soak it up. Let it go. Watch the people. I mean, yesterday, for instance, so where I am in my studio, do my show here nationally, and I do a local show as well. The sister stations across the country had us order stuff that they could not get anymore in like Seattle and in Salt Lake City because they couldn't get it. And we could. We could. They couldn't. And that's just, it's nuts. It's crazy. Take a deep breath. You're going to be fine. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. You can text the program as well. Love hearing from every single one of you. Bernie's still trying to figure out what the hell happened the other day. He's trying to figure out how he moves on. And it's interesting to watch, he's a victim. Always remember, he loves being a victim, by the way. I continue to tell everybody his love of being a victim. You can't start a revolution with being in the lead, right? So, and you see it in sports. Sports is a perfect place where coaches always try to make their team the underdog. We like it when our team doesn't have a shot. That's when we play our best. And Bernie likes that, right? Bernie likes that. You can't have a revolution if you're in the majority. It's hard to have a revolution, right? It's hard to have a revolution if you're in the front. You seem to have everything going your way. And he's out there touting his things.
That is an establishment which is working frantically to try to defeat us. And there's not been a campaign, I think, that has been having to deal with the kind of venom we're seeing from some in the corporate media.
Now it's the corporate media. Right? Trump calls them fake news. They run the same campaign just from opposite ends of the world politically. But a lot of it's the same. Everybody's out to get me. It's us versus the world. And they're going to do everything they can to stop me from getting there. But I'm here to take on the establishment. And when you say no other campaign has failed, don't give me that. You don't think the Republicans would love to have gotten rid of Trump in a lot of ways before he became what Trump became? Because now they've ceded the entire party over to him with nobody behind him, right? They haven't reloaded with the new younger version of Trump. So you've kind of handed that over. For Bernie, though, I mean, he's talking about a revolution. He's loving every second of this, and he's going to be out here today in Arizona, throwing this big thing, and I'm going to go check it out, see what it's like. But Bernie's looking for the reason he lost because it can't just be, But what have I said the entire time? You can hold a Joe Biden rally in a phone booth. Bernie's got to be an arena. The difference is that everybody that likes Bernie, that it's in that arena? And outside of that arena, not so much, where Joe may be the only one in the phone booth. because he probably still uses a phone at a phone booth. But outside of it, he's got far more people who support him and his ideas. And what are they? The most important thing of all? Consistent.
Joe Biden appeals to people who pay their cable bills on the day it arrives. Bernie Sanders appeals to people who may forget to pay the cable bill entirely. And the first group, they're both equally morally worthy, but the first group are more reliable.
Yeah. Consistency. More reliable. It's real. Here's the reality of it. They show up. They may not show up at the arena. They may not show up at the rally, but they'll show up on that night they need to show up when it comes to what? Voting. And that is what matters. It is. The question's always been there. What's Bernie's ceiling? Maybe we found it. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at us. Love hearing from you. MyPillow. So if you're like me, look, I struggled for years to sleep. MyPillow said, try our stuff. They send me out their stuff. Next thing you know, one of the big things is, like, have you ever had like 4 different pillows? You squeeze them, you turn them, you twist them. I have one pillow now, and it's changed everything for me. Changed the way I sleep. Made with patent locking, interlocking fill, right? So it's got the custom fitting levels, right? Just exactly what my head needs. It's machine washable and dryable, 10-year warranty. You get a 6-day money-back guarantee. MyPillow's done it right. It is the world's most comfortable pillow. I take it with me when I travel. I will not be home till Sunday night. And yes, I've got my MyPillow with me. Made right here in the USA. It truly is the world's most comfortable pillow. Right now, a little BOGO action. Get 2 MyPillows for the price of 1. Go to MyPillow.com, order MyPillow today, get another one for free. All you have to do is use promo code Benson. And again, it's 6-day money-back guarantee. That's MyPillow.com. Use promo code Benson to get 2 pillows for the price of 1. Throw out those nasty pillows that you just aren't comfortable with, that they're just horrible. And just throw those away. Get yourself MyPillow. MyPillow.com, promo code Benson. Chad Benson Show.
Well, get over it. It's time to forge a new path with your very own political cartographer, Chad.
It's time to go permanent daylight savings and end this once and for all. We have a bill to do that. Let's see if we can get it done this year. This is stupid. I'm not looking forward to Sunday. We're going to lose an hour of sleep. It's just dumb. There's no reason to keep doing it. Call your member of Congress, tell them to stop this changing of the time and lock the clock. And let's just keep daylight savings all year round so we can have plenty of time in the evenings to go out and do whatever we want.
That's right, baby. Let's lock the clock. Now, I'm fortunate to live in Arizona, so what do I have? I don't have that. We don't move. Right? We're like, hey, you know what? We're going to just stay where we are. So I don't have to worry about that. I'm stoked with it. But he's right. And when you go and you look at certain times of the year, what do you have? You have more fatalities in certain situations, heart attacks, because it's crazy. But robbing an hour of sleep and disrupting an hour of sleep does a lot of things to a lot of people. And this is one of those situations where I think people step back and say, you know what, why are we still doing this? Right? Many states have tried to, and it's really weird. Like, you have to, if you pass a bill that's saying, you know, we're going to eliminate daylight savings, then you have to go to Congress and get like their permission to eliminate. It's just, how about we do it? Who's with me? Are we all good with eliminating daylight savings? Can I get a what? That's what I thought. Most of you, right? Who doesn't want a little bit more? I have a long drive home, right? So, hop in the car, go see the family. I got a long drive home, and I live a bit out of town, so I can have my lizards and stuff. I like having a little bit of property. And one of the things that is crazy is the fact that when you make that drive, it's nuts. It really is, because during the winter, I feel far more exhausted. But as it starts to become sunnier and sunnier in certain situations, when you get home and you're like, oh, I just feel better. It doesn't feel as long. Just stop the daylight savings. It's that simple. Simple.
If you look at the cases that have come to the attention of the medical authorities in China, and you just do the math is about 2%. If you look at certain age groups, certain risk groups, the fatality is much higher. But as a group, it's going to depend completely on what the factor of asymptomatic cases are.
Yeah. And Dr. Fossey's right about that. Here's the way you look at this with, 3%, 4%, because you go and you look, and it's very much, even though it is the percentage is still higher than the flu, which is less than 1%. It still has a lot to do with what? Health of the patient. Meaning, does the person who get it, are they older? Do they have a compromised immune system? There's other things that play into the success rate and survival rate. Also, age is a big thing, right? And not just how old, but also how young. Nobody under the age of 9 or 10 globally has died. That's huge. That is a big thing. So kids seem to, not only do kids, this is the other thing though, not only do kids seem to easily fight it off, they don't even get really anything but much more than mild symptoms, which 80% of the people who've caught it have very mild symptoms. Not as bad as the flu. They seem to be the ones, though, that a lot of people think probably spread the coronavirus the most. So that's interesting. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Speaking of Twitter, we're going to talk about the disappearing tweets. What? On top of that, Nick Wallenda. Talked about him yesterday. He's walking over that volcano in Nicaragua. Highest walk he's ever done. Over the lava lake. He did it last night. But you and I both know we live in a world of immediate anger if we feel we've been gypped. And a lot of people last night felt they were gypped. We'll talk about that as well. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. It's the Chad Benson Show.
Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
I want to tell you, Gorsuch. I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price. You won't know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions.
So, abortion, yeah, that thing. It is on the docket again. And you hear... Now, what have I said about Trump's legacy? It's not going to be the chaos. The average person, because they only see the top, right? They don't know. It's like they see a sheet of ice over a pond. They don't realize that underneath is life and all these things are happening. The average person will look and say Trump's legacy is going to be division and chaos and all of these things. And, look, that's part of his legacy. But the legacy that people will feel, especially if he gets a second term, will be the court system. And you heard Schumer yesterday. He mentioned 2 justices by name. I'm going to play that again. Listen to what he said. He mentions 2 justices by name.
I want to tell you, Gorsuch. I want to tell you, Kavanaugh. You have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price.
What the hell are you doing, bro? Honestly. I get it. Abortion. You're in front of a crowd, right? People go. They put extra mustard, as I would say, on it. You ever played baseball when you were a kid and your buddy and you would be playing a little catch? You know? Throw a little bit harder than normally they would to you. Put a little extra mustard on it. That's what you do in front of a crowd. You feed off of it. You go a little bit further. He's trying to walk it back and say, oh, no, I meant the Republicans. No, you mentioned their name. You mentioned their name. That is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous.
You, members of the Supreme Court, he, the minority leader of the United States, saying, you won't know what hit you. I believe these statements are outrageous. They're uncalled for. They are out of bounds. And on their face, they appear to invite violence against members of the United States Supreme Court.
Even Democrats have said, you know what? That was a bit much. Chief Justice Roberts came out. And I love the ad hominem, the argument that everybody makes is, well, what about when Trump talked about Sotomayor and Ruth Bader Ginsburg? He talked about them being recused off his cases after she came out and criticized the president over those cases landing in the Supreme Court. He didn't say you're going to pay the price. He didn't say we're coming for you, whatever Schumer said. No. Chief Justice Roberts came out yesterday, and rightly so, said...
Chief Justice Roberts responded, justices know that criticism comes with the territory, but threatening statements of this sort from the highest levels of government are not only inappropriate, they are dangerous. All members of the court will continue to do their job without fear or favor from whatever quarter.
Yeah. I believe absolutely he was right in saying that. I do. That was stupid. It was asinine, but it shows you the emotion, not only the emotion of a crowd, right? That's why I would say Trump gets in front of those crowds. Normally when Trump says just craziest stuff he says, where is it? It's in front of a crowd. Energy. Yesterday was that. Schumer, though, he put extra on it. And, you know, some people are calling for him to be censured. Even, like I said, I have a couple friends who are very progressive. Some of my best friends in the world. Wouldn't trade them for anything. Love them. People say, how do you have progressive friends? Because I'm not an idiot. I have friends of all ilk, all make, all models. And they said, I don't agree with that. I think that was a little bit much. I think that was you crossed the line there. And when you try to walk it back saying, well, I'm talking about the Republicans, no, you mention them by name. Shows you that just as much as you think Trump sows division, you sow division as well. And unfortunately, we're at that time in our country where, because of social media, we're able to ramp things up to a 10. And pretty much that's where it stays all the time. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at me. Case in point, Michael Ian Black, comedian, actor, came out today and he said, or last night said, blanket with the F word. I'll say it. I prefer Biden over Bernie. He gets attacked, right? In the world of Twitter, you say something, you tweet something, people be prepared for what's coming. Be prepared for what's coming. Twitter's own success, in many ways, potentially could be its downfall, right? Meaning, you know, you're out there, you're tweeting things you're thinking, all of these kind of things, and people are scared now to be on Twitter. And there's nothing you could do now. I mean, they're trying something new.
It's a trial run that's only happening now in Brazil. Twitter says the temporary tweets, which it calls fleets, are designed to ease concerns of new users who worry about the permanent nature of normal tweets. Fleets can't be retweeted and any replies show up as a direct message. The company is hoping that by offering tweets which disappear, people will be more likely to share casual, everyday thoughts. Disappearing tweets could also make it harder to hold people accountable, monitor posts, or fact check them.
It's not even about the fact checking. What it is there are people out there that are always looking for a gotcha moment in everything you do. They're looking for a gotcha moment. And just because they gotcha doesn't mean they're going to use it in that moment. A lot of times they're waiting for you, whoever you are, to be in a position where you're doing something and you're rising to a certain level when then they can bring it up when it best suits their need for attention, which is mostly what it's about, or need for attention for their cause, which they're a part of. Again, a lot of it has to do with them. Right? A lot of it has to do with them. Outside of somebody getting personal, right? Outside of somebody getting personal, when you go and see people go back and retroactively bring something up and they have the retro rage, they're not angry. It's a way to bring attention to themselves and whatever it is that they're doing. Mostly themselves. And this deleting tweet, it doesn't matter. Why? Because we have screenshots. That's why. So you can have your tweet delete right now, but somebody out there will screenshot whatever it is that you do, because there are people out there that is what they do. They are looking for what? The gotcha moment. And that moment will come when they decide. Not then. And even if in that moment what was tweeted seems to be okay, it doesn't mean that in 2-3 years, 2-3 months, that will be okay. Because the goalpost continues to move. And that's what Twitter's battling right now. They're battling, how do we want to grow and continue to grow and want people to use our service when our service seems to get a lot of people in trouble? And you hear more and more people say there's nothing good that comes out of Twitter. Nobody gets a job because of Twitter, but sure in the hell they lose their job because of Twitter. I don't think people want that. I don't. And in a day and age where we've lost nuance and context to just about everything that goes on, and it's no longer about what you say, it's about how it's received, I could see why people get worried. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. You can text the program as well. Last night, Nick Wallenda of the Walking Over Stuff Wallendas, that's what I call him, did his walk over the volcano, right? Did his walk on the high wire, about 1,800 feet above a lava lake in Nicaragua. People were pissed, though. He was having fun while he was doing it.
Oh, my gosh. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Kind of ridiculous what you have to do to get a good view of a volcano these days.
That's what he said, because he was above it. But it was interesting to watch him do it. I watched the replay of it. You know, he drags it out. He walks a long way. But people were angry. Why? Because he had a safety harness. People are like, right? So if you fall, the harness is going to catch you. So the reality is you could have, if is that part of the whole thing? Of the reason why there wasn't a safety harness on Evel Knievel, right? He was driving essentially a lawnmower or a moped with a little bit stronger engine. And he was jumping stuff, and there was no safety harnesses on him. I always tell everybody, you want to see the greatest jackass of all? Remember Jackass the show? Go look at Evel Knievel, right? There was no safety harnesses, and his equipment was a little subpar compared to what everybody has now. But he had a safety harness.
The gas has hit me hard. My eyes actually started to burn. But the gas mask has certainly done its job properly. But my eyes were burning.
Yeah. He probably could have walked that in a few minutes. Takes a long. He slowly goes about it, does his thing as he slowly goes about it. And so mental, right? And he goes about it. And he's walking. Keep the drama. It's about the good drama. He gets $500,000 a walk, by the way. That's not too bad. 500 G's a walk. But he finished.
This is maybe crazy to you, but this has been a dream of mine. And that's what I'm preaching all the time to people, that anything is possible. Your dreams can come true, even when they seem impossible.
Yeah, well, his dream came true. He walked that. What will he walk next? He's walked Niagara Falls, the Grand Canyon, now this volcano. What will he walk? How about this? Great white sharks. hungry great white sharks. And he's dressed as a giant seal. Kind of like Fonzie did. And instead of jumping the shark, he'll walk the shark. He'll tightrope the shark. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson. Show's your Twitter. Computer systems in cars, very normal. So I have 2 cars. Tell you guys, not to be braggadocious, because I have 2 used cars, and one of them's like 10 years old. And I like it. It gets me to and fro. It's my get to and fro car. Paid it off. But it's got some miles on it. It has nothing in it. Like, I couldn't even get satellite radio. I had to go get the other little thing. So, like, it's got nothing. But I've got Car Shield for that because I do like driving it, and I drive a lot and put a lot of miles on. And I've got a newer car that's got some fancier equipment, right? But not super fancy. Still used. Not super fancy, but way fancier than the other one. And I've also got Car Shield for that. Plans start as low as $99 a month. And what you get is 24/7 roadside assistance, a rental car for free while your car's in the shop. And the shop is the shop that you choose. But this is what I tell everybody when it comes to Car Shield. You have to call them. 800-CAR-6000. You tell them, hey, this is what I have. Maybe your car's got 45,000 miles on it. Maybe it's got 130,000 miles on, whatever it is. You say, this is what I have. This is what I need. I'm worried about this, this, and this. They have a plan that's right for you that fits your budget. Again, 24/7 roadside assistance, a rental car for free, and you take your car or have them take your car to the shop that you choose. They get them paid directly. You pay a small deductible. They'll take care of you. It's simple and easy. 800-CAR-6000. When you go there, mention code Benson. Why? It saves you 10%. 800-CAR-6000. Mention code Benson. Saves you 10%. Or go to carshield.com, carshield.com. Use that code Benson to save 10%. A deductible may apply. Chad Benson Show.
No need to fear. We promise we won't give you a noogie and make you cry Russia, Russia, Russia.
Who is the fearless leader?
Pooey.
Pooey and double pooey.
What is your language? This is a family show, remember?
Pooey to family stew.
Nostrovia. This is Chad Benson.
Where's 007? Not in theaters come April, that's for sure. The release of the upcoming 25th James Bond film, No Time to Die, has been pushed back from April to November amid coronavirus concerns. The studio and producers say the delay comes after the careful consideration of the state of the global theatrical marketplace. Box office in China is down more than $2 billion right now because tens of thousands of theaters are closed because of coronavirus.
They have 70,000 theaters in China, and I don't think they're operating any of them. Trolls, though, from what I understand. Is that what you said, Kara? Trolls is going to move their date up to that weekend?
Yeah, the new Trolls movie.
Yeah, so be prepared for that. I'm going to say this right now. I'm not a Bond fan. Not that I dislike Bond. I just never got into it. Ever. I was like, I am a Trolls fan. I will probably go see Trolls before I go see Bond. So what do you think of those apples, kids? What do you think of that? To this, I find this to be a result. It's not very nice, Chad. It's not very nice how you say that. I get so many people when I tell them I'm not Bond fans. They're like, I can't believe you're not a Bond fan. Coronavirus, kids, it's everywhere. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, you say to self, I should get myself stocked up and ready. What do you need? How about this? Fruit. That's good. Look for canned fruit, they say, with no added sugars, full of vitamin C, peaches, grapefruit, things like that. Vegetables, great source of fiber, vitamin C, and other nutrients, right? So canned, again, more canned. Veggies, corn, peas, green beans, carrots, right? A lot of that. Beans, all variety of cans. Black beans, pinto beans, great source of plant protein. Ravioli, pasta's good. Fish as well. Soup and chilies, they're saying. Now, the staples you'll need in your pantry. For whatever reason, they think you're going to need these. That's what the CDC recommends. Applesauce, quinoa, pasta, chicken, beef, or vegetable stock. Low in calories, but a great source of protein. Dried fruit, nuts and nut butter, seeds, and of course, if you got kids, baby food formula, if you got youngsters, and shelf-stable pasteurized milk. Frozen food, get whatever you want, frozen food, burritos, there's, meat, poultry, those kind of things. It's frozen treats. And then breakfast cereal, they say stock up, as well as snacks. Beef jerky is a big thing. Popcorn is a big thing. And then longer-lasting perishables. Eggs, oranges, lemons, bananas, apples, butter, cheese, carrots. Just go to the store, buy what you would normally do, and then buy double if you're worried. Now, when it comes to pharmacy items, talk to your doctor about getting extra if you can. But Band-Aids, dish soap, paper towels, toilet paper, in particular that, tough to find, saline solution, cough medicine, children's fever stuff, ibuprofen, multiple vitamins. Just double up what you're doing, and you'll be all right. I promise you that. I do. We aim to make sure that things are going to go okay here. Now, the other thing I want you to do in the CHAD disease control, the CDC, we want to make sure that you take care of your phone. So you need to go out, get chlorine bleach, water solution if you got plastics to scrub the crevices. If you got a rubber silicone kind of cover, get dish soap, right? Scrub that case. If you've got wood, some people have wood, all right? Use vinegar and water solution. If you've got leather, make sure you use water and mild hand soap, and then follow it up with a leather conditioner. It gets all that stuff, cleans it up, get rid of those germy nastiness, right? We're trying to care. We are the CHAD Disease Center. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. You can text the program. Love it when you do that as well. And check out the Instagram and go to thechadshow.com. You can find out all the things that go on. Plus, grab your podcast right there. It's the Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
We have a crisis of coronavirus, and President Trump has no plan.
What he's doing is late, too late, anemic.
We should have been on top of it.
Should Americans trust President Trump to deal with this crisis?
No. Look, the president we know is not a scientist, and that's a nice way to put it. He doesn't even believe in science.
They don't even have a test kit. The Trump administration has been asleep at the wheel.
We know he doesn't have the capacity or the competence to handle such matters.
And his response has been pathetic.
This is not a Democratic hoax. This is incompetence on the part of the President of the United States.
The only person that didn't lie there was Joe Biden when he said it's not a Democratic hoax. First of all, it's not a hoax. Trump never called it a hoax. Like, there's a lot of things you can go after Trump for, right? There is a ton. Trump, every single day, he's like, all right, I'm going to give you guys at least 10 things to yell at me about. I'm going to lie about 5 things that I don't even need to lie about. I'm going to say some crazy stuff. But don't give him any ammunition to go, you guys are ridiculous. Continuing to do so. Look, the coronavirus is real. Are you going to die from it? No. You're not going to die from it. Not a licensed medical professional, but I'm thinking if you're a healthy adult, say in your teens, 18 to like 65, and you have no underlying health concerns whatsoever, the chances of you dying from it are slim to none. Right? It's not. But Chad, I had to go out and buy all the toilet paper ever needed in the history of forever. I'm like, do you have a problem? You have Crohn's disease? I feel like you have an issue. Nothing to worry about. But he was right. They have used it to come after him.
Democrats weaponized the virus against the Trump administration. They weaponized anything we do, and yet if they did it, they'd be, hailing it. But they do weaponize this, when they know what a great job we're doing. They know we have the best in the world, and, they'll just say, even though they have no facts, they'll just say, oh, we don't like the job they're doing. Especially it's not good with something like this. They can say it about certain things, but this one, everybody has to pull together.
Yeah, pull together, and they have weaponized it. Well, they really haven't weaponized it. They haven't. Really?
I wish I could say I was surprised. This is something that you can't just insult or pretend is a hoax, despite how hard he's trying. You really do have to listen to people who actually know something. There's a terrible shortage of testing kits. They need to make sure that state and local health departments and governors and mayors and others have the resources they need with hospitalization. So there's a lot of work to be done. If he will quit calling it a hoax and actually let the experts do their job, I think that'll work out better.
He never called it a hoax. He said the way you've attacked him is a hoax. I think he's got rights there to say, you know what, you guys are full of crap. Because that's the reality of it. You guys are a bit full of it. I'm just saying, throwing it out there that they have used it. And Trump, trust me, I mean, give him the ball enough times, he's going to fumble it. He may fumble it. He may be one of those quarterbacks who drops back and he fumbles it for no reason. I understand that. But this time, I'm going to throw this one out there on you. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show. That's your Twitter. Check it out. Craziness still the other night. I just love the fact that Bernie's still trying to figure out what's going on. How do we get here? What the hell happened? What's happening? How did I get to this point? I'll tell you how you got to part of this point.
Sanders, your co-chair, Congressman Ro Khanna, told the Wall Street Journal that he's been trying to convince you to portray yourself differently as a successor of Franklin Roosevelt and as a New Dealer. Do you ever regret labeling yourself a democratic socialist?
No, I am what I am.
Yeah, there you go. At least you're honest about it. But people, they're uncomfortable with socialism because the more that you talk about it, and we've touched on this more than a few occasions, when I hear him talk, it's more about Castro, right, and China and the former Soviet Union than it is about Denmark, Sweden, Norway, Finland. He says we're going to be like them, the Nordic model, but a lot of those plans feel very Venezuelan. And that's the issue. I don't hear him coming out talking about the great prime ministers of the past from Denmark and Sweden, but I've heard him come out and talk about Castro. Makes people uncomfortable. In particular, people like Texas, talking to a bunch of voters who made up their decision in really the final days. But what has made people uncomfortable?
What's the number one issue facing you and your family here in the state of Texas?
I don't want to turn the world over to socialists. I've got grandchildren to consider.
We're not going to tolerate that and that we're not ready for socialism.
You told me you weren't surprised by the results last night with Biden winning. Why?
The economy is the most important thing in the South. Ultimately, the economy is going to be what drives it, and Bernie is not that person.
The economy is booming in Texas. It's booming in Houston. You drive around this town, you see help wanted banners now.
I'll just keep the jobs coming. Everybody's building in Houston, and anybody wants to work can work.
His socialism, I think, is something that people are uncomfortable with.
Those are Democrats, right? Those are Democrats. They're uncomfortable, especially older Democrats who realize the difference between what he's trying to push out there and what he says he's about, right? Pushing out there, oh, we're going to be like Denmark and Norway. Where'd you take your... Because the last time I checked, you were like, hey, I'm going to take my honeymoon and I'm going to go to the Soviet Union. You're like, you didn't go to the Tivoli Gardens? You didn't go to Copenhagen? Right? You didn't go to Gothenburg? I'm curious, right? That's what makes people uncomfortable. And the more that you hear him talk, the more angry he is. It's interesting. Case in point this, right? Before Super Tuesday, talking about stuff.
If I or anybody else goes into the Democratic convention with a substantial plurality, I believe that individual should be the candidate of the Democratic Party.
That was Bernie Sanders all of 9 days ago, calling for the candidate with the most delegates heading into the convention to be proclaimed the Democratic nominee, even if that candidate had less than a majority of all delegates. In that moment, he was leading the delegate race after his dominant win in Nevada.
Yeah. So leading it then. Now, flash forward. Here we are. All of a sudden, delegates, they're not on his side.
Here's what he had to say after Joe Biden's big night for delegates on Super Tuesday.
If candidate X, and I don't know who that candidate X might be, I hope it's me, could be somebody else, goes into the convention in Milwaukee with the most votes. And then the party leadership and the insiders and the corporate world say, oh, yes, the people voted for you. You won a number of states. You got more votes than your opponent. But we, the corporate world, the insiders, we don't think you're the candidate. And we're going to select candidate Z.
Yeah. It's about power. It's about his revolution. And that's what makes people uncomfortable, right? Like, if Joe Biden became president, people say, I'm not going to freak out. I think Joe's an okay guy. My biggest issue with Joe is I have a question about more than just a few mental lapses that he's had along the way. And I think those are fair questions to have about health, especially when you're talking about, Bernie Sanders the same way. You had a guy who had a heart attack just a few months ago. At some point in time, I think it's fair to ask somebody in their mid to late 70s about whether or not they're up for the rigors of this job. If we can ask Pete Buttigieg, can you do this job in your late 30s? I think it's fair to ask Biden and them, can you do this in your mid to late 70s? But when I hear Bernie talk, I hear more revolution and takeover of the economy than I do, well, we're just going to have high taxes and try to make sure that everybody's covered for insurance. No, you want government to be God. And that's the uncomfortable reality that people are starting to find out. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me and text the program as well. People in Australia, the coronavirus has people freaked out. They're taking their animals in and asking the vet maybe this should be put down just in case they have or can pass along the coronavirus. This is what happens when stupid continues to talk and read and go out and not research, but read. Meaning they're reading one little thing, they take it to heart, and they run out. Men in Black said it best.
Well, why the big secret? People are smart. They can handle it.
A person is smart. People are dumb, panicky, dangerous animals, and you know it.
So true. Absolutely true. A person is smart. People, though, as a group, inherently dumb. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show. It's your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. Beat Elite. Been taking it, going out, playing my soccer, do my workouts every day. I try to get in between 45 minutes and about 90 minutes a day of working out. And I'm always looking for something that gives me a natural edge. And that's where Beat Elite comes in. It's incredible. Naturally flavored, naturally sweetened, and plant-based. It's fast acting. So I take it about 30 minutes before my workout, and away I go. Promotes extended exercise, meaning the more I exercise, the better I feel, the longer I go. Great way to deliver oxygen to the body. It is just incredible. It's improved my energy and stamina. Now is your chance. Take your workout, your sports, whatever it is you're doing, to another level. Do what I did. Get yourself Beat Elite. Go to livehuman.com/Chad. First purchase, you're going to save 20% off. That's LIVEHUMAN.com/Chad. Livehuman.com/Chad. Chad Benson Show.
Take a fake news break. Check out the really important news of the day at our website, ChadBensonShow.com. Once there, click on Chad's free podcast and get real. The Chad Benson Show, where truth and the American way live. Print free.
The court cited the danger of brutal treatment or death faced by asylum seekers in rejecting the Trump administration's position. As a result, at least for now, those seeking entry to the U.S. get to stay in America pending the outcome of their request.
Yeah, so what do we have there? Our good buddy Royal Oaks right there. Legal expert. What do we have? We have the Ninth Circuit Court. That's when you judge shop, right? So as we see the battle going on right now with, you have Chuck Schumer out there saying what he said. You see this kind of crazy battle going on of everybody judge shops. That's why these federal courts, that's what's happened. That's why I continue to say Trump's legacy is going to be the court system. He is reshaping the court system. And that's what Mitch McConnell talked about a couple weeks ago. They've been hyper-focused on what? Getting judges through. Right now it's 5-4. If he has a chance, because let's be 100% honest with ourselves, right? Not trying to be mean. I wish no ill wills. RBG's done an amazing thing. Her life has been incredible. You don't have to like her politics. You can respect what she went through, how she got to where she got, right? You can hate the game, but don't hate the player. She's not lasting another 4 years. I think it's fair to say. So Trump may have a chance to get a third judge. Who knows? Maybe a fourth judge on there. But that will change so many things. I don't think people really understand that. So the chaos, the craziness, the lunacy, it's real, right? Some of it's manufactured, but a good portion of it's real. And because of that, everybody focuses on that. But behind the scenes, the remaking of the court system is big. There's a reason Sotomayor came out a couple weeks ago and went off on Trump about everything arriving at the Supreme Court and the president and the White House always asking him to look at the cases. Because we live in a world now where we're litigious. I mean, you can pass a law today and somebody's going to, we could have voters. Okay, voters, we're going to vote for this in the state. And the next thing you know, somebody's suing and away it goes. It's going to end up there. Hence the reason why I think the legislative body has struggled. The executive body has grown in strength because they've handed some of that power over to the president, and not just this president. It started long ago. And why the Supreme Court matters so much, knowing that everything is going to end up where? In the court system. Whether it's immigration, whether it's abortion, whether it's guns, it's going to end up there. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. Let's find out what's trending.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition, liftoff.
Now it's time to find out what's trending. What's trending? Yeah, what does that mean? I mean something, right? Like it's trending on the old internet. What's trending? Oh, so much stuff is trending. First, let's start with Google, right? Google's got all kinds of stuff. No Time to Die is trending because they've pushed back the opening because they're expecting. We're the biggest marketplace, but not too far behind us is China. China has 70,000 movie theaters. Think about that. And many of them are closed. So No Time to Die pushed itself back and looking at a Thanksgiving opening now. So that's trending. Katy Perry's pregnant. It's not mine, is what it is. Tulsi Gabbard, she's trending because her free speech lawsuit was tossed out. The coronavirus, always trending. It's fun. The coronavirus is fun. Nick Wallenda is trending. If you guys don't know who he is he's the tightrope walker who walked over the Nicaraguan volcano. And we were talking about it. People pointed out last night. I mean, you watch it because it's death-defying, right? Isn't that why we watch it? Right here, he's walking over a volcano. It's one of only 6 that actually has a lake, a volcanic lake of hot lava. So he's walking over it. And then people are like, well, he's got a harness on. He's got a harness. Like, that feels more fear factor than it does potential death factor. Isn't that why we watch it? I'm just saying. Schumer resigned over on Twitter. That's trending big time. Michael Ian Black is trending. If you don't know who he is, he actually spoke out today in a very weird way. He said, blanket, I'll say it, I prefer Biden over Bernie. And as we all know, in this day and age of super extra triple quadruple wokeness and the Bernie bros, be prepared to feel blowback. And he's feeling it right now. He's getting that blowback. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. You can text the program as well. Check out thechadshow.com and go there and grab your podcast. It's the latest game in the world of games that kids are doing. And of course, when you do things, what do you have to do with those things? You have to put them on the internet. The difference between this and other games is this one has serious potential for brain damage. And of course, you have to film it. We'll talk about that. Plus a brand new coffee shop opened up. And it's for people who, well, how should I say this? Enjoy the president, right? No disdain for the president. Actually embrace the president. Again, in the world of wokeness, probably not the wokest thing to do, but it's interesting. Text the program, tweet at us as well. This is The Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Money didn't decide Super Tuesday. Something much bigger decided Super Tuesday. That something much bigger was the question of who do you trust? Who do you trust to beat Donald Trump? And who do you trust to return normalcy to the United States of America's federal government? Those exit polls, it wasn't close. They want the return to the normalcy that they saw with Barack Obama and Joe Biden in the White House.
True for a lot of people, right? True. I mean, look, I don't think Biden would destroy us. People on the inside, Biden would destroy. He's not going to destroy us. Everybody settle down. What Biden's going to bring is Obama 2.0, right? And I've already heard them come out and already talking to Trump and them. He's even left of Bernie. No, he's not. Slow your roll. Biden is anything left of Bernie. All right? There's not many. The only people who I think may be left of Bernie that are in politics today in America are the four horsewomen of the apocalypse, right? Ilhan Omar, AOC, Rashid Tlaib, Ayanna Pressley. They may be left of Bernie. Biden is not. But Biden's comfort food for a lot of people, right? We've had the chaos of Trump. And not all the chaos is Trump, right? Because the media enjoys it. I'm telling you guys, Bernie gets out there and says, well, the media, the establishment media hates me, the corporate media. I have news for you. Let me tell you what the corporate media wants. From a person who, if I have to cover this as a media person, if you're on Fox, MSNBC, CNN, right? Like that's, I can talk about anything. I don't care. I'm going to talk about Mickey Mouse a little bit. If you're the media, do you want King Kong and Godzilla? Or do you want Godzilla finding the lobster person on the island? Remember that? Like you go to Monster Island before any real cool monsters show up. Godzilla's got to take on something that you could tell is like, oh, that's an iguana. Like that's not even a real. That's what kind of Joe is. Bernie's King Kong. That's what sets it up. You've got socialism, right? And then you've got Trumpism. You've got a base that is rabid on one side and another one that is on the other. And they would love to get at each other. This is the Sharks and the Jets. You know what's not the Sharks and the Jets? Sleepy Joe. Because with Bernie, you get the Bernie bros. With Trump, you get the Trumpers. With Bernie, you get Ilhan Omar and AOC. With Trump, you get crazy fun, right, of the Ted Cruz's. And, you see where we're going with this? So, look, Joe's comfort food. He's meatloaf, right? Who doesn't like meatloaf? And I'm not talking about the singer, although I like meatloaf too. But that's what he is, right? He's that home-cooked comfort food mom used to make, takes you back to a time when you're like, that's what he is. Bernie's avocado toast, right, with sriracha and all kinds of weird vegan stuff. Trump is hot dogs and hamburgers and a barbecue and beer and that stuff. That's what Trump is, and that's what Bernie is. At the end of the day, people look around, they're like, oh, Joe makes me feel nice. He makes me feel safe. He's not going to blow anything up. But he's not going to move anything forward. He's just nice. And for a lot of people, they're okay with that. They're okay with that. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. It's called the Skullbreaker. Kids, I saw kids drink salt. It's not a solid move, right? You've seen them what? You've seen them eat Tide Pods. Remember when they had to put those things like this? We had to lock up Tide Pods. I want to relive the moment of that for a second. We had to put warning labels on stuff like Tide Pods because people are what?
People are dumb, panicky, dangerous animals, and you know it.
And stupid. Don't forget stupid. Don't forget stupid. Tommy Lee, don't forget stupid. So now we have the latest challenge. And it's called the Skullbreaker. It's where essentially you line up 1, 2, 3, shoulder to shoulder, and you guys are all going to pretend like you're going to jump up in the air. Except as the person in the middle jumps up, the other two on the sides, they stay on the ground and they sweep the feet, a la Karate Kid. Sweep the leg, Johnny, sweep the leg. What happens? The person falls over and boom, hits their head.
The Skullbreaker challenge is as dangerous as it sounds. 2 people, full and unsuspecting third, into jumping into the air, kicking their feet right out from under them, all captured on video and shared on TikTok. After falling victim to the challenge, Stacy and Mark Shanker's son was rushed to the hospital.
My son ended up having a seizure with a traumatic brain injury and a concussion with loss of consciousness.
Yeah, that's dangerous. And I was talking to producer Anthony earlier today, and I always tell Anthony, when you watch football, it's not the initial hit usually. I mean, every once in a while it is. More often than not, when you see people who have brain injuries or head injuries, in particular concussions, on the football field, what is it? It's the hit and then them hitting the ground and their head hitting the ground. Because if you and I run into each other, you're going to give a little bit and I'm going to give a little bit. Let me tell you what concrete doesn't do. Concrete's not good at giving.
I couldn't feel my hands. I couldn't feel my legs, my feet, nothing. I was numb.
13-year-old Kathleen De Jesus, a target of the challenge, rushed to the hospital where she spent 2 days for a severe concussion.
Oh my God, I'm going to lose my life for this game. I should have never done it.
Yeah. And we were like, does anybody still do this? Well, of course people still do it. It's like we're saying, people still answer those stupid Nigerian things. Thinking, oh, there's a prince. Somebody's got $50 million. They're willing to give it all to me if I just give them my all of my information. It must work. Stop doing things like that. It's like if Jack did that to somebody, I'd whoop up on him. What are you doing? Right? But then I look back and I think to myself, well, I have ever done anything like this? Well, hold on a second. Let's go back in the Wayback Machine. I'm talking the Wayback Machine. So come on, get in there with me. How many of you have been talking to your friend who's standing in front of you and you're just BSing and you're kids, and another one of your friends went over behind him, got down on their hands and knees, and you pushed him over him? Ooh, yeah. Yeah, we've all done that. Right? It's all either happened to us or done it. Here's the difference is we didn't film it. That's the huge thing. The camera changes everything in life. And people are fine with it. We run at stuff like this all the time because we either want to get lots of clicks or likes, and we're okay. We're okay if we hurt somebody. Not too bad, but as long as we get clicks and likes, we're okay. As long as it goes viral, because that's the big thing. And we're also willing to embarrass ourselves. Case in point, there's a woman who's in the news because, are you guys ready for this? She watered her plant for 2 years before she realized it was plastic. Yet a woman the other day who videoed herself doing what? She drove to school to drop her kids off. When she got there, she remembered the most important thing was her kids who weren't in the car because she scurried out of the house and left them there. And everybody laughs and they have a good time. But we have this inherent need now to want to be where? On the internet. Something famous. What can make me famous? Right? What can do this? People love this stuff. And there's, as long as you have a camera, which everybody does because you have a phone. You're now the director. You're potentially the star. You're the writer and the producer of an opportunity of something to go viral. And that's what people live for. But you notice the things that go viral are usually very what? Organic. Right? Whether it's a lady sitting in her car with a Chewbacca thing. Remember that? She just couldn't stop laughing. Or even the lady the other day with her, she filmed it and with her kids. The fact that it went viral, I think she was just doing it for a laugh. That's the stuff that does it. This stuff doesn't go viral. It just becomes a pain. But we do want that, don't we? Film. There's a chance. Now, if you see a fight, what do you do? What's the first thing you do if you see a fight? Do you try to break it up? You take out your camera. I'm going to film this. Because you never know who might like it. What do you think's going to happen? Spielberg's be like, I don't know who filmed that, but that guy's got to be the next director of photography on my next film. Crazy. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. Yes, kids, it's out there. The coronavirus. Don't be scared.
The major issue that I find, and many of my colleagues find problematic, is that if you're looking for people in the community who don't have a recognized link to a test, we call it community transmission, then you've got to withdraw the restrictions that in order to get a test, you have to have a link to something. It's almost inherently contradictory. Those have been lifted. The FDA has taken the constraints off. And now we finally have companies that are going to be making many, many more tests.
That's Dr. Fauci. They're talking about the fact that originally when all the testing came out for the coronavirus, so they were looking for it, you had to be linked in some way, shape, or form. Either you went to an infected area and you've come back. You've known somebody who was in an infected area and you've come in contact with them. So, this guy's the guy that's running the Health and Human Services side of things and the CDC, and he is, he's on. He gets it. Now what they're saying is because of the community transmission, they're going to pass that thing out and make sure that everybody has the opportunity to have testing as a just in case. Got breaking news. Elizabeth Warren has decided she wasn't good at this, and she is no longer going to be a part of it. And her 8 followers may head over to Bernie. I don't think that's going to happen, though. We'll touch on that in a minute. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Shows your Twitter. Again, Elizabeth Warren has said no more, and she's out. Clearing the path for, I think we have 3 left, right? Because I do believe Tulsi Gabbard is not going anywhere, if I am correct. She is staying in this thing as long as she can. So we will see. All right. Post office. Where would you like to be right now? You're working, you're busting your butt, you're doing your thing, you're at work, right? Maybe it's your small business, your home office, you're growing your thing, and you're like, I got to get all these things out of here. No, you don't want to be there. You don't want to go to the post office. You want to stay there and do your stuff, run your business. That's where Stamps.com comes in. Anything, and I do mean anything you can do at the post office, you can do with Stamps.com. Their on-demand postage means what? Skip that trip to the post office. What? Plus, you're going to save money because they got tons of discounts that you're not even going to get at the post office. It's simple. Use your computer to print U.S. postage 24/7, any letter, any package, any class of mail, anywhere you want to send. Once your mail's ready, hand it over to the mail carrier, away you go. And this is the other thing. With Stamps.com, you're going to be saving 5 cents off every first-class stamp and up to 40% off shipping rates. I use this for my company. I love it. It is so simple. It is so easy. If I can do it, guess what, kids? You can do it as well. And again, time is money, and time's the greatest currency of all because you can't get it back. Stamps.com, no-brainer. 700,000 small business already use Stamps.com. Why don't you join as well? Right now, my listener, that's you guys, get a special offer. It's a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale without any long-term commitment. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, type Chad. That's Stamps.com, enter Chad. Chad Benson Show.
If you're part of the politically exhausted majority, don't fear. Your time to be validated and rejuvenated is here. Wake up. It's the Chad Benson Show.
We did speak on the phone a few hours ago, and what Senator Warren told me is that she is assessing her campaign. She has not made any decisions as of this point. It is important, I think, for all of us, certainly me, who has known Elizabeth Warren for many, many years, to respect the time and the space that she needs to make her decision.
Yeah, and her decision has been made, and she's decided to pull the plug. It's funny that, the way that Bernie sounds and he talks about it, it's like, okay, like he's pulling the plug. Like they want to keep it alive a little longer. They just they want to just say their final goodbyes. She came in third in her home state. She lost to Joe Biden, who didn't even fly over Massachusetts. Right? Why is that again, people? I remind everybody, because what is Joe? He's meatloaf. He's comfort food. Right? He's comfort food. And I don't know what she is. Right? She's maize. Right? Because of the whole Indian thing. Chad's not very nice. You saw it coming. Anthony thought it was going to happen yesterday. He kept sending me. He's like, dude, it's going to happen. I'm like, it's not going to happen. It's not. It's not going to happen. So you have, all that you have left now is two people. And Tulsi. Not that I don't love Tulsi. I think we can all agree, if you were to say, Chad, who's the best looking of all of the candidates remaining in the field, you would say Tulsi Gabbard. Chad, who's the one who has a better future, potentially in politics, and a longer one? Tulsi Gabbard. Who's the one that I like out of all three? I like Tulsi. Who has no chance of winning this? Tulsi Gabbard. But she has not gone anywhere. She's there. She's now the president of American Samoa, because with Bloomberg dropping out after winning it, she is now the president. She gets to run it. So good for her. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. I love this study, and this is about as real as it gets. Early morning battle with kids. Get ready for this. A study that came out last year, it's been reevaluated by Kellogg's. On average, a parent will do 43 different tasks before they get to the office. Overall, that's 10 hours and 15 minutes. So if you think about, you have a 40-hour work week. You've just added another 10 hours to that. 43 tasks on average before 9 a.m. Here are some of the things, if you're a parent, you will understand. Let's see here. How many of these I have to deal with Jack? Brushing your teeth. Check. Getting yourself dressed. Check. Making breakfast. He's okay with that. Here's my favorite thing. Whether you're making lunch for yourself or your kids, doesn't matter what you do. How many of you out there just say, buy something at school? The backpack thing. Amazing. Yeah, absolutely amazing. Feeding the pets. Check. Folding clothes. Getting them ready. Absolutely. Getting the kids to school. Making sure they have all of the stuff they need. Check, 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 check. I'll spin the wheel. So I'm going out to pick up Jack this weekend. I can guarantee you this. He'll forget at least two things. His mother and I will have told him 1,000 times to do all of these things. Two of them will not happen. What was it, a month ago? We go to his football game. He goes, hey, Dad, I don't have any shoes. What do you mean you don't have any shoes? Oh, I didn't bring any. Nah, kids. Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Elizabeth Warren was the single biggest factor in that election last night. It would have been a very different thing, and not in a positive way for her, in a very selfish way for her. She was very selfish.
Yeah, Trump yesterday talking about Super Tuesday results. Biden's big night. Elizabeth Warren, selfish for staying in it. She has dropped out. She said, I've had enough. Guys, I smoked a peace pipe early this morning and decided I've had enough. And I'm stepping out. So she's out, not a shocker. You'll look back on this and you'll say, the moment you came in third in your own state, where Joe Biden, who didn't come to your state or run an ad in your state, won, the cantankerous Bernie Sanders, who has praised Fidel Castro, Hugo Chavez, China, and took his honeymoon to the former USSR, Soviet Union, beat you, and you came in third. That's the moment I think you realize. And you had everything going for you. You go back 2 months. People were, especially in the media, they were liking Elizabeth. They were. They thought Elizabeth was it. They thought she had gotten to the point, and then she kind of just stalled. Right? She got to a certain part, and she's like, And then when she was that front runner, as it tends to happen, let me tell you something. How many times have we talked about it? It is so much easier to chase than to be chased. You talk to any athlete in the world, and they'll say, what's harder, winning a world championship or repeating? They'll say repeating. Because everybody gives you what? They give you the best shot. They give you their best shot. They could be 3-25, but on that night, the world champs are in town. You are going to what? You're going to give it everything. A ball you may chase down and dive for that you wouldn't do in another game, you do that. Why? Because the champs are in town. A little bit of buzz. Being the man or the woman that's in the lead is tough. And she got to that point, and then she crumbled. And she had a bit of a resurgence when she dressed down Mike Bloomberg, who was awful in his own right, to the tune of $700 million. Hey, but it's his money. I watched Mike Bloomberg, and the entire time I thought, how'd you make $68 billion? Like, if you make Bill Gates look exciting. But she didn't do anything else. And this last debate, when they asked her about how she would deal with China, she turned to Bloomberg and said, why hasn't he released his tax returns? So that's what you would do? If Xi was in front of you, you would ask him why he's not released his tax returns? No, she didn't have an area that she was ever comfortable in. I didn't think she thinks that Bernie was going to run when she started thinking she was going to run again. And she was going to go out there. And that maybe she'd have that lane that Bernie kind of carved. But Bernie was there. And she never got past that. And she was too late for her to become moderate because there was too many people in the middle. And then she'd been everywhere. Remember, she was a Republican at my age. Then she's been a Democrat. She's been a Cherokee and a Navajo. I mean, she's been all kinds of stuff. Right? She may have been a samurai. I don't know. But what she wasn't was comfort food. We talk about it with Biden. Biden's comfort food, right? Biden is meatloaf. And I continue to go back to that. That's why Biden's comfortable. We like that. How many of you have a pair of jeans out there that you like, right? No matter how much weight you've lost or how much weight you've put on, those things still fit. And you're like, I look okay in these. That's the comfort of Biden. She was dress pants that shrunk. Didn't really fit right. Felt uncomfortable to a lot of people. Didn't look good on her. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. You can text the program as well. We're talking about it, still looking at it. It is spreading everywhere. The coronavirus. My corona. Don't be worried. Don't freak out. Everybody still needs to take a deep breath and understand exactly what this is as we look at the coronavirus and what the reality of it is.
The new coronavirus is just that, new, and that's one reason many of us have found ourselves so worried about catching it.
A new risk is always scarier than one we're familiar with because it has elements of the unknown, and not knowing what we need to protect ourselves leaves us feeling a little powerless and out of control. That's why we buy masks and stock up on food. It's something we can do to get control.
Risk expert David Ropick says it's normal to react this way, but we all have a responsibility to communicate with one another rationally, just as much as we have a responsibility to wash our hands frequently.
And what's the best thing, right? What is the best thing out there to do? Wash your hands. 20 to 40 seconds under hot water with soap. You're going to be okay. I watch people freak out about this, and here at work, what have we done? We've had to order for our other company, right? So we've got stations all over the country. They can't get certain things. So we had to order it because we could. We've now put up hand sanitizers throughout the office. Okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with taking extra precaution, but sometimes it's like, I feel like the coronavirus is WebMD, right? You go to WebMD, you twist your ankle. Next thing you know, you're like, pretty sure I've got scurvy. And you're like, what? It's like, how did that happen? It's like, yeah, I was on WebMD, right? You bump your arm, right? You get that little tingle on the funny bone. It's not so funny. And what do? You go to WebMD because it's hurt for a day or two. Next thing you know, you're saying to yourself, I wonder when they take my arm off, am I going to get a hook or am I going to get the prosthetic one? And you're just like, that's what's happening with this. You sneeze, you freak out. Next thing you know, you're telling your boss, can't come to work. I think I may have the coronavirus. Just take a deep breath, right? Take a deep breath. Men in Black said it correctly, and I will once again allow you to hear what Tommy Lee Jones said, not the drummer, but the actor.
People are dumb, panicky, dangerous animals, and you know it.
Yeah, people are. Individuals are smart. People are inherently stupid. So do all that you possibly can. Take a deep breath and just realize that, hey, if you catch it, there's 99.99999% chance, unless you're a 70-year-old person with a compromised immune system, that you're going to be just fine. That's it. And don't take a cruise. Or take a cruise. New study by Bankrate.com said that 75% of Americans would not take a free cruise right now. And I have to be honest with you. I'll take a free cruise every day of the week. I will. Go ahead. Hand it to me. At the rate I'm going, I may be the only one on the ship. They're going to be like, you want to drive? I'm like, of course I do. Let's do this. This will be awesome. Of all that stuff, I'm going to go out to the chocolate fountain because they always have chocolate fountains. I just eat the whole thing. Why? Because I'm the only one on the ship. Don't live in fear. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Once again, a reminder, Elizabeth Warren has left the race. Still alive. Still a senator. Is it going to suck to be a senator now? Oh, here comes Elizabeth. She tried to be president. She wasn't very good. She wasn't good at president. She wasn't good at that. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Let me tell you about my friends over at Lightstream. They're awesome. Incredible. So you're sitting around, and you got credit card debt piling up, and you're stressed out because you got good credit, but the reality is you're looking at this and you're paying what, 18, 19, 20%? Don't do that. It's easy to lower your interest rate. Save with Lightstream credit card consolidation loan. How about this? Rates from as low as 5.95% APR with autopay. $5,000 to $100,000. You can do it right from your phone. Absolutely no fees whatsoever. Simple and easy to do. And in many cases, you can get your money as early as the same day you apply. And just for being my listener, how about this? I'm going to save you some money. What? Yep. Go to lightstream.com/Benson. That's LIGHTSTREAM.com/Benson. Subject to credit approval. Rate includes 0.50% auto pay discount. Terms and conditions apply. Offer subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/Benson for more information. Chad Benson Show.
Don't let the Washington Beltway strangle you. This is where the exhausted majority comes to refuel, realign, and reevaluate. This is Chad Benson.
We have rules, and I'm really anxious for the rules to be followed because we have to have a candidate who goes into the convention and comes out with a majority of the delegates and a united Democratic Party, and that's what I'm going to work toward.
That's what I hear when Hillary Clinton's talking. She's going to support whoever it is not named Bernie Sanders. Promise, 110%. I'm on board with who's ever the candidate not named Bernie Sanders. I am there. Bernie Sanders is. I'm not going to support him. I am going to be a part of this. No way, then chance in hell I'd ever support that guy. I am there. Be a part of that. So Elizabeth Warren's out. She's gone. It's a two-person race. I'd say it's a foot race, but I feel like it's more of a walker race. Do you think they have tennis balls at the end of their walkers? Slow down, kids, you guys. That would be hilarious. What's going on? Our president's going to have one of those. I've fallen and I can't get up. The great one that would be. The president's in serious trouble. He broke his hip in the shower. You're not very nice, Chad. Just say it. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. So Elizabeth Warren is out. What does it mean? Well, it means that, we're in a situation right now where this has become what it has become, which is it was always going to be a two-person race, right? It was just a question of, was it going to be Bernie and Bloomberg or Bernie and Biden? And people are like, but what about, there was never going to be anything other than that. And look, and I'm really happy. It's good to see older white men get a chance to do something in this world. But the reality is Bernie has a huge base, but I think he's tapped. I don't think he's not going to grow that base. Where Biden had potential and Bloomberg was the unknown. But Elizabeth Warren never had it. Even though the media liked her, because she checked certain boxes. She was a Democrat. She was progressive. She was a woman, or at least identified as one. She was a Native American. You don't see that very often, even in her family. So there was that. But at the end of the day, it was always going to be one of those three. And Bloomberg was awful. He was awful. So now you have Biden versus Bernie, and we'll see what happens. Will there or won't there be the brokered convention?
Do you feel confident that you can sew up this nomination before the convention, or do you think this is a battle that's going to go all the way to Milwaukee?
We're going to go from the Dakotas all the way to Michigan, places where I think I can do well. If I do that, it just piles up more support and more momentum. That's my hope. That's my expectation. But I'm not looking all the way down the road till the convention.
Yeah, which will be interesting, the plurality of it all, because there's still a good chance. So we know something. How does he do in Ohio? How does Bernie do in Ohio? Because as much as Bernie, and this is something that people need to understand, a lot of people love what Bernie say, but a lot of Democrats are what? They're union members. And union members fight hard for what? For their health care. Now you're telling them that they have to have everybody else's health care? They don't want everybody else's health care. They fight hard for that. That really makes them uncomfortable. It does. It makes them feel like, well, hold on a second here. No. And what was very interesting is there's so many people that were exiting the other night, and they were asking them, do you understand what you voted for Bernie and what he wants in Medicare for all or single payer? Many of them, a good majority of them, well into the high 50s, believe that Medicare for all is a good thing, but I still get to keep mine. No. You don't get to keep yours. And that, a lot of people just, they're confused. They don't quite get it. So we'll see what takes place moving forward. But he's going to have a tough time, I think, in Ohio, Pennsylvania. Let's just say it now. He's not winning Florida. Bernie has no chance at Florida. Zero chance at Florida. So that ship has sailed. So there's a lot of things that Bernie still has a chance of getting, though. How will he do in Michigan? Well, the governor of Michigan comes out and has endorsed Biden. He can call it the machine, Bernie can. You can call it all the things you want to call it. But the reality is the entire time you've gone along, you've done nothing but insult, criticize, and talk about burning down the establishment that includes the people that you're trying to use to get to where you want to go. And we're not talking about the media. I mean, we're talking about the entire Democratic Party. And yes, they screwed you over last time, but let's also remember this. You're not a Democrat. At the end of the day, you're still an independent. You may caucus with them, you and Angus King, but the reality is you are not a Democrat. And they remind you over and over again that they want to nominate somebody that is essentially one of their own. And you wanted to be somebody outside of that and use the machine that they've created for your benefit. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. You can tweet at me, you can text the program as well. Love hearing from every single one of you. Check out thechadshow.com. You go there, grab your podcast, see all the stuff that's going on. We also got a Facebook page. Is that what the kids are doing now? Facebook? They on MySpace still? Probably not. MySpace is so Elizabeth Warren. Oh, Chad, you're such a jerk. A little bit. Talk a little bit about Chuck Schumer and what he said. Plus, Twitter is trying to do something because they want to grow. And people are afraid to tweet, because of retro rage. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
I want to tell you, Gorsuch. I want to tell you, Kavanaugh. You have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price. You won't know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions.
So, abortion, yeah, that thing. It is on the docket again. And you hear... Now, what have I said about Trump's legacy? It's not going to be the chaos. The average person, because they only see the top, right? They don't know. It's like they see a sheet of ice over a pond. They don't realize that underneath is life and all these things are happening. The average person will look and say Trump's legacy is going to be division and chaos and all of these things. And, look, that's part of his legacy. But the legacy that people will feel, especially if he gets a second term, will be the court system. And you heard Schumer yesterday. He mentioned 2 justices by name. I'm going to play that again. Listen to what he said. He mentions 2 justices by name.
I want to tell you, Gorsuch. I want to tell you, Kavanaugh. You have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price.
What the hell are you doing, bro? Honestly. I get it. Abortion. You're in front of a crowd, right? People go. They put extra mustard, as I would say, on it. You ever play baseball when you were a kid and your buddy and you would be playing a little catch? Throw a little bit harder than normally they would to you. Put a little extra mustard on it. That's what you do in front of a crowd. You feed off of it. You go a little bit further. He's trying to walk it back and say, oh, no, I meant the Republicans. No, you mentioned their name. You mentioned their name. That is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous.
You, members of the Supreme Court, he, the minority leader of the United States, saying, you won't know what hit you. I believe these statements are outrageous. They're uncalled for. They are out of bounds. And on their face, they appear to invite violence against members of the United States Supreme Court.
Even Democrats have said, you know what? That was a bit much. Chief Justice Roberts came out. And I love the ad hominem, the argument that everybody makes is, well, what about when Trump talked about Sotomayor and Ruth Bader Ginsburg? He talked about them being recused off his cases after she came out and criticized the president over those cases landing in the Supreme Court. He didn't say you're going to pay the price. He didn't say we're coming for you or whatever Schumer said. No. Chief Justice Roberts came out yesterday and rightly so said.
Chief Justice Roberts responded, justices know that criticism comes with the territory, but threatening statements of this sort from the highest levels of government are not only inappropriate, they are dangerous. All members of the court will continue to do their job without fear or favor from whatever quarter.
Yeah. I believe absolutely he was right in saying that. I do. That was stupid. It was asinine, but it shows you the emotion, not only the emotion of a crowd, right? That's why I would say Trump gets in front of those crowds. Normally when Trump says just craziest stuff he says, where is it? It's in front of a crowd. Energy. Yesterday was that. Schumer, though, he put extra on it. And, you know, some people are calling for him to be censured. Even, like I said, I have a couple friends who are very progressive. Some of my best friends in the world. Wouldn't trade them for anything. Love them. People say, how do you have progressive friends? Because I'm not an idiot. I have friends of all ilk, all make, all models. And they said, I don't agree with that. I think that was a little bit much. I think that was you crossed the line there. And when you try to walk it back saying, well, I'm talking about the Republic, no, you mention them by name. Shows you that just as much as you think Trump sows division, you sow division as well. And unfortunately, we're at that time in our country where, because of social media, we're able to ramp things up to a 10. And pretty much that's where it stays all the time. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at me. Case in point, Michael Ian Black, comedian, actor, came out today and he said, or last night said, blanket with the F word. I'll say it. I prefer Biden over Bernie. He gets attacked, right? In the world of Twitter, you say something, you tweet something, people be prepared for what's coming. Be prepared for what's coming. Twitter's own success, in many ways, potentially could be its downfall, right? Meaning, you know, you're out there, you're tweeting things you're thinking, all of these kind of things, and people are scared now to be on Twitter. And there's nothing you could do now. I mean, they're trying something new.
It's a trial run that's only happening now in Brazil. Twitter says the temporary tweets, which it calls fleets, are designed to ease concerns of new users who worry about the permanent nature of normal tweets. Fleets can't be retweeted and any replies show up as a direct message. The company is hoping that by offering tweets which disappear, people will be more likely to share casual, everyday thoughts. Disappearing tweets could also make it harder to hold people accountable, monitor posts, or fact check them.
It's not even about the fact checking. What it is there are people out there that are always looking for a gotcha moment in everything you do. They're looking for a gotcha moment. And just because they gotcha doesn't mean they're going to use it in that moment. A lot of times they're waiting for you, whoever you are, to be in a position where you're doing something and you're rising to a certain level when then they can bring it up when it best suits their need for attention, which is mostly what it's about, or need for attention for their cause, which they're a part of. Again, a lot of it has to do with them, right? A lot of it has to do with them. Outside of somebody getting personal, right? Outside of somebody getting personal, when you go and see people go back and retroactively bring something up and they have the retro rage, they're not angry. It's a way to bring attention to themselves and whatever it is that they're doing. Mostly themselves. And this deleting tweet, it doesn't matter. Why? Because we have screenshots. That's why. So you can have your tweet delete right now, but somebody out there will screenshot whatever it is that you do, because there are people out there that is what they do. They are looking for what? The gotcha moment. And that moment will come when they decide. Not then. And even if in that moment what was tweeted seems to be okay, it doesn't mean that in 2-3 years, 2-3 months, that will be okay. Because the goalpost continues to move. And that's what Twitter's battling right now. They're battling, how do we want to grow and continue to grow and want people to use our service when our service seems to get a lot of people in trouble? And you hear more and more people say there's nothing good that comes out of Twitter. Nobody gets a job because of Twitter, but sure in the hell they lose their job because of Twitter. I don't think people want that. I don't. And in a day and age where we've lost nuance and context to just about everything that goes on, and it's no longer about what you say, it's about how it's received, I can see why people get worried. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. You can text the program as well. Last night, Nick Wallenda of the Walking Over Stuff Wallendas, that's what I call him, did his walk over the volcano, right? Did his walk on the high wire, about 1,800 feet above a lava lake in Nicaragua. People were pissed, though. He was having fun while he was doing it.
Oh, my gosh. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Kind of ridiculous what you have to do to get a good view of a volcano these days.
That's what he said, because he was above it. But it was interesting to watch him do it. I watched the replay of it. You know, he drags it out. He walks a long way. But people were angry. Why? Because he had a safety harness. People were like, right? So if you fall, the harness is going to catch you. So the reality is you could have, is that part of the whole thing? The reason why there wasn't a safety harness on Evel Knievel, right? He was driving essentially a lawnmower or a moped with a little bit stronger engine, and he was jumping stuff, and there was no safety harnesses on him. I always tell everybody, you want to see the greatest jackass of all? Remember Jackass the show? Go look at Evel Knievel, right? There was no safety harnesses, and his equipment was a little subpar compared to what everybody has now. But he had a safety harness.
The gas has hit me hard. My eyes actually started to burn. But the gas mask has certainly done its job properly. But my eyes were burning.
Yeah. He probably could have walked that in a few minutes. Takes a long. He slowly goes about it, does his thing as he slowly goes about it. And so mental, right? And he goes about it. And he's walking. Keep the drama. It's about the good drama. He gets $500,000 a walk, by the way. That's not too bad. 500 G's a walk. But he finished.
This is maybe crazy to you, but this has been a dream of mine. And that's what I'm preaching all the time to people, that anything is possible. Your dreams can come true, even when they seem impossible.
Yeah, well, his dream came true. He walked that. What will he walk next? He's walked Niagara Falls, the Grand Canyon, now this volcano. What will he walk? How about this? Great white sharks. Hungry great white sharks. And he's dressed as a giant seal. Kind of like Fonzie did. And instead of jumping the shark, he'll walk the shark. He'll tightrope the shark. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Computer systems in cars, very normal. So I have 2 cars. Tell you guys, not to be braggadocious, because I have 2 used cars, and one of them's like 10 years old. And I like it. It gets me to and fro. It's my get to and fro car. Paid it off. But it's got some miles on it. It's nothing in it. Like, I couldn't even get satellite radio. I had to go get the other little thing. So, like, it's got nothing. But I've got Car Shield for that because I do like driving it, and I drive a lot and put a lot of miles on. And I've got a newer car that's got some fancier equipment, right? But not super fancy. Still used. Not super fancy, but way fancier than the other one. And I've also got Car Shield for that. Plans start as low as $99 a month. And what you get is 24/7 roadside assistance, a rental car for free while your car's in the shop. And the shop is the shop that you choose. But this is what I tell everybody when it comes to Car Shield. You have to call them. 800-CAR-6000. You tell them, hey, this is what I have. Maybe your car's got 45,000 miles on it. Maybe it's got 130,000 miles on, whatever it is. You say, this is what I have. This is what I need. I'm worried about this, this, and this. They have a plan that's right for you that fits your budget. Again, 24/7 roadside assistance, a rental car for free, and you take your car or have them take your car to the shop that you choose. They get them paid directly. You pay a small deductible. They'll take care of you. It's simple and easy. 800-CAR-6000. When you go there, mention code Benson. Why? It saves you 10%. 800-CAR-6000. Mention code Benson. Saves you 10%. Or go to carshield.com, carshield.com. Use that code Benson to save 10%. A deductible may apply. Chad Benson Show.
No fake outrage here, just the real thing. The Chad Benson Show.
I feel so deeply the anger of women all across America about Senate Republicans in the courts working hand in glove to take down Roe v. Wade.
Ugh. But Chuck, what you said, I'm just saying, seemed really angry.
He cares deeply about women and women's health. And I know that he is talking about the fact that each one of us needs to know that when we vote for judges, that the impact of their votes are real to people.
Yeah. But what do I keep telling everybody? What do I keep telling everybody? Is the court systems are huge. Because if the Democrats had the court side of things, what do you think would be happening? They would be trying to edge it in their favor. This is just the world that we live in. His words were not good because you didn't call out the Republicans. You called out 2 judges by name.
My point was that there would be political consequences for President Trump and Senate Republicans if the Supreme Court, with the newly confirmed justices, stripped away a woman's right to choose.
This is the way I look at a woman's right to choose. I myself, while I believe in pro-life, I don't ever want to take away somebody's right to choose. That's between you and your maker and your conscience. And I think 90% of the women out there really struggle making that decision. You get the ones who are wacky and crazy, the girl on TikTok having fun, doing her thing, TikToking her abortion, saying this is the second time. Guess what? You're an idiot, not responsible, right? You're an absolute buffoon and you're not responsible. Not responsible. Say it again. You were not responsible. But when it comes to Roe v. Wade is never going to be overturned. States may fight it, and states feel they have the right because states have rights. What you said, though, crossed the line. And if something was to happen, because as we all know, people are insane. People are stupid. And we've lost nuance and stability. But if somebody did something to Kavanaugh or to any of the justices, and they felt they did that because somehow you were the dog whistle, I don't care if it's Trump or you, that's insane. And you called out Gorsuch and Kavanaugh. You didn't call out the Republicans. Let's be real. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. You can text the program as well. Still no sign of the coronavirus on me. I hope you guys are doing well. I think I'm going to be all right. Chad. People are using condoms now to push buttons on elevators and to do stuff. That's just What is wrong with people? Raycons, best earbuds around. I've got mine. You get yours. You want earbuds that are amazing. You want earbuds that are inexpensive but stylish with better sound quality. E25 from Raycons. 6 hours of playtime. Seamless Bluetooth pairing. More bass. More compact design. What's it give you? The best, nice, noise-isolating fit you're going to find. And did I mention half the price of all those other ones out there? And there's no stems, dangling wires, none of that stuff. Stylish, discreet, cool. You want them? Raycon's got them. Ray J put it together the right way. Went to people who understand music and sound, like Snoop Dogg, Cardi B, big producers. They love them. You'll love them too. Not only are they inexpensive, and they're amazing. I'm going to save you 15%. Simple and easy. Go to buyraycon.com/Chad. Buyraycon.com/Chad. Save you 15% right there. Buyraycon.com/Chad. At Chad Benson Show, Twitter, ChadBenson. Elizabeth Warren is out. It's a two-person race. Kind of what we thought. We'll see what happens. You have a good, wonderful rest of your day. Guess what? I see Friday. Night-night, Jack.
This is the Chad Benson Show.